how to add an extra 118,000 per month with these outcomes. We've done this many, many times. These are just the most recent results. So as you can see, people like Zach, he added an extra 120,000 per month in under 90 days. That's obviously just some videos going over the entire process. Aman, he added an extra 31,000 per month in 90 days. Lee added an extra 10,000. Jovan went from like zero or around 500 to around $10,000 per month. Joe went from around 16,000 to 40,000. John added 27,000. Vimal 32,000. And these are just monthly figures. These are just casual numbers we collected throughout going about this. Honestly, all of these could be a lot more because we just haven't asked how much they're making at this point. But this is just a testament to the fact that this works extremely well. And I was going to put screenshots throughout the entire thing, but then the doc would probably be like 200 pages long. So as you can see, they're just endless ones. So I'm on booking 7 calls a week. Vimal closing $36,000 deals. William adding an extra 24,000 in a day. Closing some more deals over there. I'm on, closing some more deals. Vimal closing some more deals. That's 4.8K for a deal. I'm on 3K a month, closing $11,000 in a week. Vimal booking 4 calls a day. More deals. James's outreach is working too well, can't handle the volume. Josh closing 4K deals. James collecting 5K. Jovan, you get the point. Like, I could go through this for another 2 hours, but the point is that it works really well. So let's get into who it's actually for. This is only for agency owners who want to book more meetings, they want to sign more clients, they want to grow their revenue, they want to deliver excellent results, they want to systemize delivery, acquisition, and get out of the day-to-day. And then also for agency owners who want to finally get their time back, right? This is the key point. You may be running an agency, but you're just working all day. It's obviously not very desirable. You want the financial location and time freedom, and you want to build a business that you actually enjoy, and you focus on high leverage tasks instead of just doing everything. So everything from admin to support to all that. So it's also for agency owners who don't want, right, to not make consistent progress. So people who are okay with like stagnating, people who are okay with being in the same position in 12 months, right? People that don't want to be stuck in the day-to-day for the rest of their career, and the people who never want to find a way to book meetings and close deals predictably. So I assume this isn't the first video you've watched on like growing an agency or a course or whatever. So if you've been burnt by an appointment setting agency that overpromise and underdeliver, if you've bought courses, coaching, mentorships, again, every single client that I've worked with have told me these exact same things. So don't worry, I've seen it. If you've tried cold outreach using like email and social media and LinkedIn and Facebook, but can't book consistent meetings, if you've tried hiring and making SOPs, but are still stuck in the day-to-day, then this is for you. And again, it's only for a certain type of person. So if you hate being stuck and not making progress, if you hate being like a slave to your clients and just answering Slack messages all day, and if you also feel like there's a better way to book meetings without like spamming people or making these crazy $100 million offers, and if you feel like there's a better way to do sales without like pressuring people, doing fake urgency, all this like super salesy stuff, and just if you feel like there's an easier way to run your business, to be honest, like if you feel like there's always like chaos happening, or if you feel like there's always some new agency model that people are trying to sell you, the gurus, whatever. And if any of these points resonated with you, then this is exactly what you need, because I've heard this a million times. So who this is not for, this is not for beginners. So if you are a complete beginner, you don't have a niche, a service, or a client, unfortunately, this is not for you. Just watch the free content until you get there. And it's also not for agency owners who are average. So if you're okay with making 5 to 10K a month at max, just having like a high paying job pretty much, going to Bali and then just doing whatever, then this is not for you. So this also isn't for you if you don't care about getting your clients results, right? We don't work with people who don't really have much ambition, which is fine if you don't. We also don't work with people who don't care about their clients because, again, we're running a business. We actually want to get the best results possible. So this system is designed for agency owners who won't settle for like average results. It's for genuinely for the overachievers. And it's for agency owners who want the best, to be honest. And this is for you if you want to grow and do it in the most like effective and efficient way while getting your clients results. So from all of this, I mean, you've probably tried courses, you've probably tried mentorships, you've probably hired agencies, all this stuff. And the truth is that you can grow your agency beyond 100,000 per month if you just book more meetings, get better at sales, and work with higher paying clients. Like genuinely, that is it. If you just got more calls, close more deals, and then work with bigger people, like perfect. But if you have no leverage, you'll always be stuck doing it all yourself in a high paying job as a slave to your clients with no freedom, right? It doesn't matter if you get more clients. If you're just going to work more, then it's pointless, right? You don't actually build a business. You're just building a job. So just some background about me. I graduated high school as one of the top of my year. I was too ambitious for a job, so I started a business. Or I was just dumb enough to want to try to start a business. But either way, that's me at the end of high school. I had no passion, right? I didn't have a passion for helping chiropractors or a passion for helping gym owners. So I just decided to pick an industry where I could learn the skills that I needed to make money. Like I was just looking for the most effective path, to be honest. So I founded AGP in my first year out of high school, working as an appointment setter for marketing agencies. I thought that if I could learn how to book meetings, I could learn how to sell, then I'd always make money. And I was right. So I thought that if I could learn offer creation, appointment setting, and sales, I'd be able to make money in any industry. And it worked. So I realized these agencies were great at the service delivery, but could not proactively market their services. So I found instant product market fit in that I found a situation where they needed what I was offering and I could get them results and it was beneficial. So that's good. So I signed clients, I got results, and I did this for over 15 agencies at that time. But on top of that, this is me when I first moved out, I was living in my place. So this transitioned into me getting more skills and consulting clients on sales to maximize the number of deals signed. So I started just doing appointments. Then I got more clients and I realized, okay, I can provide more value here. So I helped them with sales too, and now they're closing deals consistently. So for another 30 agencies, we built out the offers, we built out the appointment setting systems, and we built out the sales systems and teams. So think about this. I'm not just doing, let's say, outbound for myself. I'm doing this for myself and all of these clients in all of these different industries. So the amount that I'm learning is like insane. So working with 7 and 8-figure business owners taught me the back-end systems that they use to run their business effectively. Right? So I'm speaking to some of these guys and their whole business operates like a machine. And this is obviously interesting for me because I love learning. So I'm like, tell me more. So I even started transferring the operational systems across my 8 and 7-figure clients to my other ones. So I'm helping them not only book more meetings, sign more clients, generate more revenue, but also systemize their backend, improve their margins, and get out of the day-to-day. So as clients got better results and I signed more clients, my time became a constraint on the business. So I was involved in everything, right? Which is a problem, right? Because my time was all over the place. So this required me to implement these operational systems in my own business and create a better model to serve the agencies, right? So the only reason that like I was saying, I wasn't planning on sharing any of this. I was planning to just keep it in-house and just do whatever. But now, if I want to help more agencies, if I want to scale, if I want to have the impact that I want to have, I actually need to share this stuff. So this required me to create the model where we've taken the winning systems and delivery systems across these 7 and 8-figure agencies, documented them, and provided them here, right? So this is why I'm doing this. So some of the results over the past few years, I built the acquisition and infrastructure or acquisition and scaling infrastructure for over 90 agencies in over 45 different industries or verticals. I think it's around 70 at this point. We've generated over 4.2 million in contracted revenue for our clients. I'm leading a community of over 14,800 agency owners. So I'm teaching them acquisition, booking meetings, signing clients, scaling. I consulted in some of the big programs that you might know. One of them is Ease Grow by Charlie Morgan. This is, as you can see over here, this is actually in Ease Grow, one of the systems, the Welby system, when it works very well. Also the Growth Partner by Jordan Lee. This is the first part of the thesis. And this thesis is based on generating $4.2 million across 90 agencies in 70 different industries. And again, I wasn't planning on sharing this, but because I want to help more agencies, because I want to, reach the targets that we want to hit, I actually need to give this out. So again, this is something you're not going to find in some agency course, some YouTube video, anything like that. So proof of concept. The first thing that we need to do is understand this idea. Now, proof of concept is pretty much defined as evidence that a concept is feasible. Simply put, it indicates that something works. Now, we'll apply this to a micro level and a macro level. So a micro level is like your campaigns work, right? Your campaigns work to the point where they book 1 call a day. Perfect. Then also the macro proof of concept. So the overall delivery mechanism of what you do works. So when you sign a client, they get the desired outcome that they want. So proof of concept is something we're looking for in all aspects of the business. So keep this in mind. So the first concept that I want to go over is productization. Now, most agencies, they use a service. So for example, they'll offer things like SEO, Facebook ads, appointment setting, all of this. But the problem is that they look and they sound the same as millions of other people in the industry. They have nothing that makes them unique. They're just seen as a little service provider. So they have no clear value. Plus, they have no niche. So what happens is, every client that you sign needs a custom solution. Every client is a new project that you have to figure out, and sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. So there's no predictability. And this is a problem because, firstly, in the sales process, prospects think you're all the same. Like everyone that offers ads, they're all the same. Because you guys look and you sound the same as everyone else. And if you all look the same, it's like they're just going to choose the cheapest option. Because if they think there's no difference, then let's just go with the cheap one. So on top of this, booking meetings and closing deals is a struggle. Nobody wants to get on a call because you're just a service provider. If you're lucky to get onto a call, you get constant objections. You deal with low quality prospects who want instant results in the shortest time, and prospects don't trust you, right? So you need to have endless follow-up calls, and then they still don't buy. So you waste all this time for that. And it makes signing clients a nightmare. But even if you're able to get a client, delivering is even worse. So they're low paying, so you can't hire talent. You're stuck doing everything yourself. You don't have a niche, so every client is custom. You have to figure things out. You have to spend the time talking to them, doing all this stuff. You spend hours delivering, not knowing if it's going to work. And you're trying to do this while running the rest of your business, right? So you still have other things to do. And because of that, you can't take on more than 5 to 10 clients without your time being capped. And as you've probably seen, if you get past this amount, it just breaks. Your time becomes a constraint. You start losing clients, all of that. So your agency is stuck. And this is why agency owners get stuck. And this is what causes burnout and giving up and switching niches and all this stuff. So the solution is productizing a value offer. Now I'll explain exactly how this works in a minute. But the concept that I want you to understand is that an offer is not a service. The offer is the transformation that you help them to achieve. So let's say your client is at 10K a month. Their goal is to get to 100K a month. Your offer is the bridge to helping them go from their current state to their desired state. If you can do this, and you can do it systematically, you will be rich, right? So the size of the transformation determines the value of your offer. Okay, the bigger the transformation, if you can get someone from 10K to 1 million, that's a massive transformation, and it makes it more valuable. So by focusing on the outcome of what you do and targeting a specific niche, you can easily stand out as an expert, making acquisition effortless. So you're not like a Facebook ads guy. You're the guy that can help an e-com brand add an extra 100K a month. That's a lot more attractive than just some random guy who runs ads. So that's the first thing. We need a value offer, and we'll show you how to do this. But the next concept that I want you to understand is productization. Now, productization is turning a skill or a service into a sellable mechanism which can be sold at scale. Okay? So the degree to which a business's service is productized is the degree to which it can be scaled without the system breaking. Okay? And I'll explain this in simple terms. So this involves selling the same solution with near zero variability to the same avatar, again, with no variability. So pretty much, instead of doing a different thing for every single client, as you can see over here, we're essentially selling the same thing over and over and over. And by doing that, it's a product, not a service. So by having a product, it means it can be replicated at scale. So instead of selling a new custom solution to a new niche every week, you create a solution once, and you deliver it to every new client. This is how my $1 million clients scale so rapidly, because they're not having to create new things every time. They're just doing the same thing once, but better, right? They're not doing more, they're doing less, but better, okay? So you're turning your custom complex service into a simple, scalable, and value-driven offer. So how do you create this? So not only am I gonna explain how to, that you need to do this, I'm also just gonna walk you through how you can do it, right? Genuinely, you're getting this for free, but please take this serious. Like, people have paid us $24,000 for this information, right? Up front. So take this seriously, do the exercises. I promise you it will change your agency. So how to create a value offer? Firstly, you need to select the niche. So for this example, select your client who got the best results, okay? So for example, you helped a home renovation company add $65,000 per month. So in this example, you can do this for other niches at a later time, but for now, just keep it simple. I just want you to do this. Home renovation will be your niche, okay? Then I want you to map out the outcome transformation of this niche. So map out this client's tangible before and after state. And generally, the closer the outcome to profit, the more appealing the offer. And again, this is something we've learned from working with 90 agencies, running campaigns. So please do this. So for example, more website clicks are less attractive than more revenue. Okay, people don't really care about clicks, they care about making more money. So feel free to also add other benefits to your after state to make your offer even more appealing. For example, let's say the client used to make 20,000 per month before working with you. After working with you, they're making 85,000 per month with a fully automated lead nurturing system in place. That's an additional benefit on top of the revenue. So do yours right now. Just map out the before and after. Then build a value-driven offer. So next, we'll add specificity to make the offer more desirable. So list the time frame and any unique mechanisms and use a simple template to build your offer. So this is a template you can use. We help niche to get outcome in time frame with mechanism. Okay, very simple. So for example, we help home renovation companies add an extra 65,000 per month in 90 days using automated AI lead nurturing systems. Cool, done. Extremely simple, extremely effective. So pause the video, do this right now. Please just do it. It will change your whole life. And then carry on. So an example outreach method or message would be something like, and I'm literally just giving you what's working at this point. Like, so just use this. It'll be something like, hey name, reaching out because we just finished helping Welby renovations to add an extra 65,000 per month in 90 days using automated AI lead nurturing systems. Thought we may be able to help you to do the same. Would you be open to more info? That is an outreach message. That is an outreach message that can book you 1 to 3 calls every single day, genuinely, because you're just talking on facts. So there's no crazy guarantees, there's no spamming, there's just leading with proof. And this is all it takes, I promise you. And because you're working with a niche, you'll be solving the same problem every time, right? So when you do this outreach message and you sign clients with this offer, you're going to help the same person every time. So you'll be implementing the same system every time. And most importantly, you'll be getting great results every time because you only need to figure it out once. This is the idea of productization. Again, people aren't going to teach you this stuff. So for acquisition, you'll stand out and have a clear value. You'll book meetings easily. You'll be seen and treated like an expert. Because you're seen as unique, you'll close more deals. Prospects can't compare you to 10 different options, and you'll be able to charge higher prices with better quality prospects, better quality clients, right? And it gets even better because now you're signing clients easily, and when you do sign them, every client has the same problem, and you know how to solve it. You have predictability, both in revenue and results. You have confidence knowing that the solution will work. It barely takes any time because you're just copying and pasting the solution, and clients get better results without requiring or while requiring less work from you. Think about that. You're making more while working less while getting better results. This is efficiency. So some insights. Creating a value-driven offer and productizing delivery makes client acquisition and service delivery extremely efficient, setting the foundations for exponential massive agency growth, right? Okay. I just put a common question that I get. People say, I have clients in different niches. Which one should I pick? Honestly, just pick your best one. It's that simple. But if you really need extra help, I made a resource for you guys because again, I'm just giving everything away. Market segment identification. So you can use this resource to identify the best segment of your market with the highest likelihood of getting the best results and the best partnership experience. So you can just follow this workflow. So simply put, just think back to your past experience and answer the questions. So like, which of your clients got the best results and why? Who spends the most? Who do you enjoy working with the most? And just write your answers. And then, answer these questions from experience or just talking to your clients. So via forms, messages, check-in calls, coaching calls, all of that. So determine the size of the company, their goals, what made them buy, what influenced them to work with you, and what would make the service more valuable. So speak to your clients, genuinely, like you can ask them this stuff, get the information, and then this is going to determine how you target more people in the future. So after you do this, you can identify who the best clients are. Then you're going to survey the best clients, figure out all their pain points, why they bought, all of that, and you're going to use that in your marketing messaging moving forward. Okay? So pause the video, do this, I promise you, it'll help. Okay? Now, step 1.2, find marketing proof of concept. Okay? So now that we have an offer, we have something that people want, we just need to get attention to this thing, and if we can do that, voila, you're rich. And we do this through marketing. Marketing is the act of making known. So most agencies rely on referrals, their network, and cold outbound. So they do things like emailing, calling, all that stuff. Or they use some email sending tool like Lemlist or Instantly or SmartLead, and they find leads on Apollo and they clean it with some lead verifier tool and all these other stuff, right? We've seen it a million times. If they don't do this and they're not growing from referrals, then they're doing it on social platforms, LinkedIn, Instagram, Twitter, Facebook. Again, I've seen it all. Automation tools, LinkedIn automation, Instagram accounts, bots, all this stuff. And they spend hours having pointless conversations with cold, unqualified prospects. And why is this a problem? Firstly, if you're growing from referrals and inbound, it's unpredictable. You speak to unqualified prospects, but you still need to take them on because you need cash flow. Or, if this is not the case, then you try cold emailing, but just end up spamming people or you try this with an agency and they just spam people, all you're getting is people telling you to F off or unsubscribe. You try outreach on LinkedIn or other platforms thinking that it's going to be better, and you get the exact same response. You feel like you're annoying people, because you are. And you feel needy and that you're begging them, even though you can help them, right? And you get treated with no respect throughout the process. And you're working so hard for very little return, right? I remember doing this. For a lot of the times, we were making more money than the people we were reaching out to. Our clients were making 100 times more money, but they still treated us like we weren't an expert because we're doing outreach like this. And that's a problem, right? And you probably don't like this. So there is a new way to do it, right? There is a new way. And it's using inbound and warm outbound. Now, what this looks like practically, and again, I'm going to walk you through exactly how to do it. You create content that solves the problems of your niche and you post it on social platforms, right? Again, this may not sound completely new, but I'll show you how we do this well. So it's just a screenshot from my LinkedIn from a certain period. As you can see, I got like 32,000 impressions, all targeted agency owners. So by posting, you build an audience of people who know you, like you, and trust you. So you're actually attracting people to you. And then you reach out to the warm prospects using manual or automated outbound. So I'll show you how to do this. Now, a concept that I want you to understand is called leveraged content creation. And this is something we created. And most agents, we created this and we gave it to our clients, and now they do it too. Obviously, there's people doing similar things. We didn't create content. But most agency owners understand the value of content. However, they don't leverage it because they feel like content requires massive amounts of effort and time and lights and all this stuff. And they also don't know how to do it effectively. So if any one of these are you, then we'll help you. So both are solved using our process of leveraged content creation. Okay? So here's how to get started. Select a short form platform. So a short form platform is one where you can publish quick written content instead of like high production YouTube videos like you see some of these guys making. And this allows you to share your expertise and results easily without massive production requirements. And it's quick and it's low friction. So there's no massive pressure. You can just do this quick, get results, move on. So the platform on which you create content depends entirely on where your niche congregates. So simply put, if your niche isn't on the platform, then don't use that platform. Like, that's it. So survey your niche or just use your judgment. Like, you should know this to determine the best social platform. Okay, so for example, LinkedIn won't be ideal for finding gym owners because they don't use it. But Facebook would be more effective. Facebook or Instagram, because that's where they actually use it. For financial advisors, they probably won't be on Facebook or like Snapchat. Like, just use something where they will be. Very simple. Then create content categories. So now that you know where you're going to be posting content, the next step is determining what content to create. So we aim to provide value to your niche, which shows your expertise. Okay, very simple. And value is derived from solving problems. So therefore, we'll be creating content that solves the problems, which is creating value. So get started by listing the problems faced by your niche. Because if we can just solve this, then you're an expert. So for example, I listed some that marketing agencies face because that's who I work with. But for example, they have bad offers. They're not booking enough qualified calls. They're not signing enough clients. They have unpredictable revenue. They have no systems in place, unpredictable delivery, low paying clients. These are just a few. And if these sound familiar, I know because we've worked with so many. So start now. Write out the problems of your niche, just like this. Simple list, very easy. Then, once you've done that, find winning formats. So now that you know what to write about, the next step is figuring out what to write, okay? So our leverage system for content creation uses formats that are already proven to work. So here's an example. This post was written using a listicle format, okay? Notice the way the post is structured, right? So this is the post I made on LinkedIn. It got around 4,000 impressions, 15 engagements, 12 comments, all that. So I can easily reach out to every single person who liked this comment or liked this post or even, viewed it. And they'll be the absolute most likely to want to work with me because they've literally seen my post, got value, and they're interested. So these are the people that we want to be speaking to, not these cold prospects that you found in Apollo. So a different post could easily be written using the same format. So as you can see, the way I structured this is a headline or a hook, then the second line, and then the actual info, and then a final line to call it off. So another one could be, I booked this many bookings for agencies. Here's 7 tips to get 1 to 3 calls per day. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And I just follow the same template. So it's not that the post itself is like the best thing ever. It's that the template is proven to work, which means that we can put other information into this format and just do this repeatedly. So here are some more winning templates, right? These are just other ones from LinkedIn. This one's a old versus new. So old ways to sign clients, this. New ways to sign clients, this, and this. So you could just change this to whatever you're doing. Old way to run Facebook ads, old way to sign or to scale e-com clients, get e-com sales. And you can just change this for your stuff. So if you can find winning templates, it means that you can just speed up your content creation process because, you're just putting info into something that's winning. And I listed some over here that you can just use. So the goal is to build a bank of templates to reuse to speed up your content creation process. Okay. Number 4, use software. So instead of manually posting on the platform daily, use a tool like Taplio to schedule your posts in advance. So if you just use the link over here in the doc, or I'll probably link it below, then you can just get Taplio. I think you may even get like a free trial or something. But this is what I use to schedule all of my posts. So I set aside 1 to 3 hours weekly to schedule content for the entire week. So like on Tuesdays, I just schedule 1 to 3 hours and I just write out all these using the templates, and it's super, super quick. So for every day of the week, I have 1 post going out, and you can just check my LinkedIn. So on LinkedIn, you can see I post once daily. Okay. So pause the video, do this now, get Taplio, get the templates, and list this stuff out, and just get this in a Google Doc so that you can start using it as soon as possible. Right? Genuinely, today, you can start doing this stuff. So get the tools, highly recommend it. Okay, concept, warm outbound. So now that you're getting attention using content, like again, do this stuff, like actually just do this. You'll start to generate inbound leads. And if your content is good, prospects will ask questions or request more info on your service. Now, this can take some time. It should be very quick using the methods I mentioned, but it usually takes some time. So we use warm outbound to proactively reach out to our audience and generate bookings. So here's how. Number 1, connect and follow prospects daily to build your audience. So on every platform, there's like either a followers list or a friends list or a connection list. So on LinkedIn, you'll connect with people, you'll build your audience. On Facebook, you'll follow people. On Instagram, you'll follow people. Or Facebook, you'll add people. And the goal is to just do this daily to build your audience proactively. So send requests to like 20 to 50 people every day. Then you're going to build your audience as you post content. So people will engage as you post content daily. So people will like it, they'll comment, they'll share. And these are warm prospects. Then what I want you to do is you reach out to your audience reach out to your audience. You can use voice notes or video messages to massively increase your results. It's a method that we do. That is a part of the Welby system that I made in EasyGrow. So if you want to walk through, you can just check this video. It'll show you how to do it. And then repeat this process daily. Okay? You can use text, it's fine, but video or voice note will just massively get us up. Now, if it feels like, it's a lot of work, once you find proof of concept, you're booking 1 to 3 calls per day, you can actually automate this process and scale it by hiring setters. Okay, so essentially, you just need to find what's working on a small scale, and then you automate it completely by hiring the setters. Okay, and they can do this entire process for you. So by using leveraged content and warm outbound, you only spend time talking to qualified prospects. Your lead list grows automatically. Your lead flow is predictable. Your bookings are predictable because you track the numbers. You can easily book 1 to 5 calls per day. You get massive returns on small inputs because you're not reaching out to all these cold people. They actually know you and they like you, so they would want to work with you. And the system allows you to get others to manage the system. Meaning, because we've documented this process, because it's so clear, you can easily get someone else to just do this for you. So you're able to remove yourself from the process. So once you start scaling the business and you become more busy, you can actually remove yourself from this. So you can remove yourself from delivery, from marketing to sales, all of that, and then obviously just have a business that runs without you. So leveraged content lets you scale or lets you quickly create winning content that attracts and warms up qualified leads at scale. And then warm outbound allows you to book appointments with warm prospects easily. So these work together, and this is why it's so effective. So you should be able to book at least 1 to 10 meetings per day using this. So a quick question that I get often is people say, if I share everything, people won't want to work with me. And that's not the case at all. So people perceive paid info and paid services as more valuable than free because they're paid for it. So if they find value in your free content, they're immediately going to assume your paid services are even better. They will want to work with you more. So they'll come on with you for the implementation, right? So yeah, don't worry about that at all. Share everything. Okay. 1.3. So implement everything I mentioned before, and then we'll move on. So at this point, we want to find sales proof of concept. So now we have an offer. We're getting bookings, at least 1 to 5 per day, at least. That should be bare minimum with the system. Now we need to find a sales system that works. So at this point, we have an offer that stands out. You're getting consistent, warm, qualified sales calls. Now we just need to convert these bookings into clients. So the old way of doing sales is manual. You get onto a call with a prospect who doesn't trust you. You have some boring 30-minute conversation. When the call's about to end, you like shyly mention the price. Like, oh, it actually costs this much. They say, okay, cool, I need to think about it. Send me more info, send me a proposal. I need to talk to my partner. You've heard it all. So you spend hours creating the proposals and sending it, and you spend hours every week following up, and they ghost you, and the deal falls through. And you repeat this process over and over and over, and you just waste all this time. So this causes a lot of problems. You're speaking to cold prospects who don't trust you. You're re-explaining who you are and how it works on every single call. It's annoying. You're wasting time repeating the same things. They always need to think about it, or they need to talk to their partner. You get endless objections. Sales cycles are long. You have to get onto endless follow-up calls and send endless follow-up emails. You're doing all this work without the guarantee of signing a client, right? If you knew that it was guaranteed to sign a client, it's fine, let's do the work. But if you don't even know, like all of this is a hope. That's not good. So what is the solution? The new way is scientific, content-based sales. Again, you're not going to find this in some agency course. You're not going to find this on some YouTube video. This is some inside stuff. So the first concept that I want you to understand is called sales energy. So fundamentally, certain actions must be taken to convert someone from a stranger to a paying client. Like, think about that. Someone doesn't just become a paying client by accident. So most people think that the actions that need to be taken only occur on a sales call, like when you're pitching, like you're answering questions, all of that. But in reality, every single interaction with you or your agency moves someone closer to becoming a client, or it moves them away from becoming a client. So we measure the effectiveness of these actions, the actions that either move them towards or away from you and your business, as sales energy. Okay? So here's an example. If someone sees a great case study and they consume valuable content from you, it's going to move them forward. It's going to move them towards becoming a client. It's going to provide more energy to the system. But if they see some negative review and they have a bad experience or something like that, it's going to have less energy. It's going to take energy away. So once we hit a certain threshold of energy, the prospect will buy. And the reason that I'm saying all of this stuff, like I'm not saying anything on a sales call, I'm saying any interaction, is that the thesis is that all of this action can be taken without having a call. So our objective in acquisition is to take actions that provide as much sales energy as possible in the most effective way possible. Now, because you have a finite amount of time, what's the most effective way? You only have so much time in the day. Content. Because you can communicate every single thing about you and your process via content. Prospects watch it in their own time before the calls. And the content handles all questions and objections. So this is the last growth plan that I made when we were helping agencies. This is how we actually attracted more agencies. And I pretty much just walked them through our process. So in here, I mentioned sales energy as well. And this is the exact same process as what I'm doing right now. I'm showing you guys how everything works. And then from there, you'd be more interested in using the system because you see that it works. And it's like, you can just use it. That's the thing. Like, you don't have to pay for the info. Like, you can just use this, get to like 10, 50, 100K, and then you're fine. Like, I'll be completely honest. We've found that our clients who join, who are at least like 10, 50, 100K, they get the easiest results. So I'd rather just get you to 50K without needing to like work with us, front load that whole process, and then, you can come on scale to like 200K. So let's get started. So every single interaction with your agency affects the total sales energy. So while you could just post endless content like some hamster on a wheel, whatever, there's one type of content that can provide 80 to 90% of the results with a single document. This document is called a sales letter. And this is what we'll be covering. Again, you're not going to find this in some free course. People will charge you 50K for this info. So what you want to do is, we're going to create a document that handles 90% of everything that prospects need to hear on a sales call before you even speak to them, right? So the first thing I want you to do is list out the state transformation. So create a new document, Google Doc, Notion page, whatever. This will become your sales letter. So I'd recommend a Google Doc. Start by stating the transformation that you helped your best client to achieve. And you can state it in this way. How I helped niche or client to achieve the outcome in time frame using mechanism. So for example, here's one of our clients, Zach. This is your headline. I'll show you very soon. So step 2 is to list your social proof. So to back up this claim, mention all proof, case studies, and credibility that you have. So for example, if I wanted to do this, I would say how I helped an agency to add an extra 120,000 per month in 90 days using our scaling thesis. Then below the state transformation, you list the social proof. So you can just model this video. Like what I would do is I would just store this video somewhere. If you're watching on YouTube, like it, add it to your watch later. If you're watching it anywhere else, just make a note of it, bookmark it. Just make sure you have it at all times. So, because you can just refer to this when you're making yours. So list all the proof that you have below and just add links and stuff. Like we have case study videos for all of these. Same with Aman. Then add identification. So once you've listed the headline, the social proof, add identification. To help prospects identify who this content is for, list their problems and goals. So this is for agencies who want this, want this, want this. Again, just model my process and you'll be able to do it very easily. Then this is the meat. Document the mechanism. So next, you'll be documenting the mechanism for achieving the original outcome. So provide as much value as possible. Don't worry about giving everything away. The more valuable the sales letter, the more valuable they'll think your paid services are. And I mean that. So example, if I was listing out the absolute most basic way to get the outcome for agencies, build an offer, generate appointments, implement sales systems. Then once you've listed out the major points, you go into even more detail. So what are the major points of generating appointments? Collect case studies, write scripts, automate the inbox management. And then you go into more detail. Then you just expand on every single point, like the same way I'm doing it here, right? So do that and use this resource as a guide on how to do it, right? So that's what I'm saying. Just bookmark this, store it, tattoo it on your forehead, whatever's necessary to just get this done. Then add a call to action. So after documenting your entire mechanism, and again, it can take a while, after getting value from the content, prospects need a next step, right? People will want to ask okay, this is great. How do I work with you? So simply tell them what to do at the end. So for a demo of these systems, book a time using the link below. That's it. It's you just need to wrap it up in some way or else you're just going to be left hanging. What do I do? So by front loading your offer, proof, entire mechanism and its benefits, you can share this with prospects to build trust and desire at scale. So what I recommend is that every single person you speak to on a sales call, even before booking a call, they need to watch this. Because by doing this, it's going to make sales calls so easy, so effortless, so straightforward that genuinely, it's going to be a very easy sale and your close rate will just skyrocket. Okay? So do that now. Pause the video, do that now. I promise you this will change your life. It will. Number 2. Scientific sales. So scientific sales involves being systematic. On the calls that you do take after they watch this video, you follow a systematic line of questioning. You follow the same script and the same pitch every time. You might be asking, oh, well, what if something, whatever. No, if you're working with the niche, if you're working with the same person every time, you follow the same script. Because you're following a question-based framework, you don't have to have variation in there. So you use the same script and the same pitch, and you use feedback from your sales calls to improve your script and content over time. So it's an endless flywheel of just taking calls, using that feedback, getting better, taking more calls, getting better. And the more calls you take results in more feedback, which results in better content because you can use this not for your script only, the feedback, you can use it for your sales letter. So you learn something, add it to the sales letter. Every single call you take from now on, it's already handled beforehand because people watch the sales letter, which results in more bookings, more clients signed, and even more feedback. So this is how you can scale rapidly. And this is how our clients get to 7-8 figures because at the start, it's slower. Then they get this feedback. It just goes super fast, more feedback, and they just skyrocket. So this is an example from our line of questioning. It's and again, this is what we provide for everyone, but it's we have the first introduction, the agenda, the primary motive, the same questions every time, and then we have a script feedback form. So what words, phrases, or sentences do your prospects keep repeating? Stuck in the day-to-day, unstructured. This is how I've gotten the feedback to create something like this, right? It didn't just come from nothing, if you know what I mean. So every script should identify the following by asking questions. Like, we simply need to figure out what is their desired state, why do they want it, what is their current state, why is it a problem, and what's stopping them from achieving it. So by following this process, and again, this is breaking down thousands and thousands, tens of thousands in sales training, like this is all you need. We're figuring out the two states. So let's say the current state is 10K, the desired state is 100K. By figuring this out, it creates the logical reasoning. Then we need to understand why. Okay, why do they want it? Why is this a problem? And this is what people mean when they say you need to ask the emotional questions on sales calls. We're not asking like, oh, like, are you doing this for your dog or your kids or something? They're like, what? So you're doing this to create the emotional buy-in as to why they want to achieve this logical reasoning. So they're at 10K, they want to get to 100K. Why do they want to get to 100K? Well, if they're at 100K, they have more revenue, they can get themselves out of the day-to-day, they have freedom, time, financial location, all of that. They can spend time with their family, all of that. Cool? Why is the current state not good? Okay? While they're working all day, they have 20 clients, they're barely getting paid anything, they're burning out, they don't like this, and they've been stagnant for the past 2 years. Okay? That's a problem. So you've created the logical reasoning and the emotional, and then your pitch simply positions your solution as the bridge to achieving their logical and emotional goals. That's it. We figure out where they are, where they want to be, and the pitch, and positioning us as a solution to achieving that. That is sales. Okay, that's it. Don't need another course. So examples. What's your goal? 100K. What makes you want to reach 100K? Like, these are some example questions you can use. So you can ask a prospect, like, what makes you want to reach 100K instead of just 10K? The current profits aren't enough to support my family. I want to grow so I can remove myself from the day-to-day and spend more time with my kids. Great reason. What's your current revenue? Okay. What have you tried to solve this? So this is creating the problem in what they're currently doing. I tried cold outreach, I tried network, I tried growing from referrals, but it just doesn't get results. It feels spammy and it takes all my time. Okay. What's stopping you from achieving it on your own? I don't have the expertise or the time to learn the skills required to build it out on my own. I want results within months instead of waiting years. This is a very key point. It's like, if you don't have the expertise, you're going to waste years instead of months. You'll save some money, but again, the time's worth more. So make sure your script includes these key questions. And by all means, for your script, if you need to add additional things like logistical things, like figuring out like what they're currently doing marketing-wise, if they're running ads right now, what's their budget, or they're working with an agency, by all means, understand those things. But as long as the script has these key questions, you'll always be on the right track. So everything I mentioned here, these approaches are more effective because prospects like you, and what I'm talking about now is sales energy and scientific sales. Prospects like you, trust you, and want to work with you before speaking to you. Very key. Concerns, questions, and objections are handled before the call. The sales cycles are shorter. You can do all of this on one call closes, right? You get minimal objections, high quality prospects, more deals signed, predictability in the sales process, and the process makes ramping up new salespeople straightforward because they're just following what's already there, and the content's doing most of the selling. So this allows you to be removed from the process. Okay? So insights. The entire sales process can be front-loaded using content, increasing sales velocity, which just means faster sales. Then, systemizing and scientifically improving sales allows you to predictably close deals and duplicate your methods across a sales team. So by having a system as opposed to some guesswork, you can easily get someone else in to do this. So what's going to happen is you build an offer, like we spoke about. You're going to get 1 to 5 calls a day. You scale that up to 5 to 10 calls a day. You can't handle that. So you get a salesperson in to follow the proven process. You get yourself out. You just focus on management, and then life is good. Okay, if you want. Next, 1.4, find delivery proof of concept. So now that you're systematically signing clients, the next step is delivering the desired transformation. The old way of delivering for clients is chaotic. Most agencies don't have a niche. They work with anyone. Every client is a new problem, right? And every solution is custom. So every client is a new problem. You have to solve this problem every time with a custom solution, which is not good. So this is a problem because this makes your entire process extremely complicated and unpredictable. You're never sure if you're going to get results. Like, you never have that certainty that's like, this client, easy results, next, this client, easy results. This causes you to be stuck and involved in everything because you're never able to delegate the process. Because if you're the one responsible for getting the results and you're never sure if it's going to be right, you're always involved. So you're stuck in the day-to-day creating campaigns and putting out client fires. The new way is simple and it's elegant. It involves a standardized delivery mechanism. So this is just an example from what we help our clients to build out, what we have as well. But this is an operations SOP hub. And it just includes all the operational systems that you need to run the business. So you would have the same for your delivery. So you'd have like your onboarding, you'd have the client communication, you'd have the setup, the lead source, and the whatever. As you can see, this is just for the team. There's still stuff for the program, still a lot more there. But by standardizing this process, and working with the same niche every time, you solve the same problem every time. So instead of solving a new problem for each client, you solve the same problem just more efficiently every time. Like there's no better way to do this. So why is this better? Delivery is simple, results are predictable, your delivery improves over time, and your delivery becomes more efficient over time. So working with a niche, this should actually be insights or insight. Working with a niche gives you a standardized delivery mechanism, making your delivery system more simple, or making your delivery system simple and efficient. So this also allows your delivery to become more efficient over time, right? You actually make it better over time. And this is the point that we want to get to. So over here, leverage, applying permissionless leverage. The concept of leverage is very simple. Leverage is the difference between inputs and outputs. Okay, leverage is the force multiplier on your judgment, which means that in our context, we're looking for small inputs with massive outputs. Examples. Instead of spending 1 hour per day, 20 hours per month, sending outreach, we can spend 3 hours hiring and training a setter, then never have to do outreach again. Okay, that's leverage. Instead of re-explaining the onboarding process to every single client, we can create an onboarding video once and never have to repeat ourselves. Okay? Instead of taking 10 hours of client check-in calls every week, 40 hours per month, hire a client success manager to manage the entire process. Okay? So as we can see, the inputs are small, but the outputs are high. Okay, so there are 4 types of leverage: media, code, labor, and capital. Now, media, another word for that is content. Code is software. Labor is like team and people. Capital is money. As you can see the differences between the 4. Okay, now, the big point is that there are 2 types of leverage: permissioned and permissionless. Code and media are permissionless, meaning that you don't need the permission of another person to actually do these things and to get leverage here. For example, you don't have to ask someone to be able to make like a video or a piece of software. You can just do it. But for capital, like leveraging other people's money, or labor, which is literally leveraging other people, they need to actually, agree to it. So media and code are permissionless, implying that you don't need other people's involvement to use it. This makes them incredibly powerful and easily accessible by anyone. And we'll be using all 4 forms of leverage. But for now, we're going to start with permissionless. So 2.1, agency infrastructure. So at this point, you should have a proof of concept for generating bookings, for closing deals, for delivering results. And simply put, you have a system that works. This is proof of concept. It just works. So the next problem you'll face is that you're involved in everything. Now, most agency owners are stuck in every single part of the business: client communication, sales, everything. Every piece of information, every process is all in your head. So you know how to do everything in the business, but struggle to hand the task off to someone else because nothing is documented. So you must figure it out again whenever you complete a task, right? If you know how to do outreach, but it's not documented, there's always a chance you're going to make a mistake because you're not following a proven checklist. So you may try automating or delegating, but you never do. Or whenever you do, the system breaks, right? If you've tried hiring stuff in the past. So you think, okay, it's just going to be quick if I do it myself. But this is a problem because your attention and energy is scattered. You're doing a million things. You're tired or you're overwhelmed. Because you have no energy, tasks get missed and results are unpredictable, both for your clients and for yourself. You miss details when doing tasks and you make mistakes. And you don't have time to do tasks that will get you more time. So it's like people will say, I don't have time to hire someone to free up my time. It's like, no, that's backwards. So you're stuck in the day-to-day working all day. So the concept, the leveraged agency owner creates infrastructure. Now, they document every process and all information into workflow documents. So this allows them to follow a proven system every time. So this is an example of our company systems. Every single part of the company is mapped out. Everything from the program to the content to the setting to the sales to the ops to the hiring to the management to the finance. It's all mapped out, all neat, all organized. So whenever they decide, so they store the documents in public information hubs so others can easily access them. So this is an example of an information hub, right? So when they decide to delegate, they can quickly just send the docs as training. They can give off responsibility knowing that the task will be done right. So if I wanted to hire someone, I just send them a link to a Google Doc and they know how to do everything. So this means that every process and piece of information is documented, allowing you to implement it perfectly every single time. Right? So if you're following a process every time, whether it's you or someone else, it's perfect because you just check it off. So the agency becomes clear and it becomes organized. And new team members can easily be onboarded and trained quickly by following the workflows. So insights, documenting your workflows on what you did to find proof of concept for the bookings, for the sales, for the delivery, allows for consistent, perfect execution and straightforward delegation. Right? Really understand this. This is what stops most agency owners from getting out of the day-to-day. So the first thing we're going to do, now that you have things documented, is implement content-based leverage. Okay? So now that we understand the idea of leverage, focusing on inputs that provide massive outputs, we also understand the need for infrastructure, creating these tangible resources with our information. So content is the first type of leverage infrastructure that we'll be using. And the function of content is communication, both with clients externally and internally with team. Again, you're not going to hear this in some course or some YouTube video. So most clients, most agencies have terrible communication. It's inefficient and it's slow. And this applies to team and clients. So with clients, most of you guys have onboarding that takes constant back and forth messages and calls and days to complete. Expectations around results and communications on set. So clients expect massive returns in the shortest time. And you may think that you're getting great results for them and you may be happy, but they're still unhappy. And you're like, why are they unhappy? Why are they complaining? And they end up either leaving or asking for refunds. So most agency owners try to train new employees. So that's just for clients. Then most agencies try to train new employees with the team by getting onto constant calls and teaching them live. So the team members, like you'll get on a live Zoom call with the people and the team members forget what to do and then don't do the job perfectly because people just forget things. So you get annoyed and you think they're dumb. So you keep taking calls with them and try and get them trained. And you spend more time training than if you did the work yourself. Plus, you're paying them for the time that you're training them. Like, it's so backwards. So because of that, you end up getting rid of them and just returning to doing everything yourself. Because you're like, why am I spending all this money and this time training? Okay? So these are both a problem because clients have a slower and worse experience with you, with the onboarding, the back and forth info, all of that. It takes longer to get the client results, increasing the chances that they leave. You're annoyed because they aren't sending everything that you need in time. And they're annoyed because you keep asking for things. So you have clients leaving and asking for refunds. Now on the team side, you have team members taking forever to get on board and they still do the job wrong. Then you get annoyed with them thinking they're dumb. They struggle to do the task and they get less confident. They think they're dumb. And then you remove them and go back to where you started doing everything yourself. That's not good. So the new way is to front load all communication through content. And this is called leveraged communication. Right? So for your clients, you create content explaining everything you need from them, like company info, targeting for marketing, case studies, and everything they need to understand about your agency. So expectations, timelines, what they can expect. So clients can complete their onboarding in under an hour. And you have everything that you need to launch campaigns in under an hour. So you create FAQ documents and training to answer questions and improve results. This is for the team. This is for clients as well. So basically for the clients, you create a document that explains and a video that explains everything that they need to know about the partnership and a form to collect all the info that you need for the campaigns. So they can do this in under an hour. They know exactly what to expect and you have exactly what you need to get started. Then for your team, you document all your workflows with video walkthroughs. So for example, this is our sales SOP hub, right, for the sales rep onboarding. So it shows them how to set up the Google Calendar, how to set up the Zoom, how to set up their referrals, how to set up the daily reports, everything. And each one has a video overview. So by doing this, the entire training can be done without me being involved. So when new team members join, they just follow the workflow and learn how to do the job perfectly. And your only job is to answer final questions via message or on a quick call. That's it. So they can operate from day one without your involvement. So this means that clients have a better, faster experience. They get results quicker. You and your team save time by not having to follow up with clients. Clients stay for longer, which allows you to earn more per client. Your team member gets on board within 24 to 48 hours. You save time by not having to train them for hours, and they do the job perfectly without your involvement, saving you time to focus on high leverage tasks in the agency. Right? It's a win-win-win. So insights. Front-loading client communication through content speeds up onboarding and allows clients to get better results in less time with less involvement. Front-loading team communication through content and workflows speeds up onboarding, allows them to complete their jobs perfectly without your involvement, right? It's perfect. Now we've implemented, or we understand the idea of infrastructure, right? We need these documents. We're understanding the idea of communication using content-based leverage for clients and for ourselves. So this takes care of all the communication. So at this point, we've leveraged our communication using content. The next step is to leverage code to automate execution, right? So we've covered the communication. Now we need to cover the execution. So the old way to run an agency is to complete every task manually by a person. Okay, so this could mean you doing it yourself. So like doing the tasks, speaking to people, or a team member doing the tasks, speaking to people. So you answer every client's question, you send every sales message or email, you do everything yourself. Now this is a problem because you miss or put off doing a task because you're tired or you're busy with other things. You are human. Your results are unpredictable compared to software automation. Code doesn't make mistakes. And everything you do is slower than having it done by a machine. So it's like, why even do it in the first place compared to a machine? So concept, automation. The new way to implement automation, or the new way is to implement automation for every task that you do more than once, right? Code and machines work while you sleep. It has no emotions. It doesn't require management, okay? It's more predictable than you. So examples, in sales, instead of manually emailing case studies to a prospect, you can just create a Zap that automatically does this when a new booking comes in. This is an example over here. So whenever someone signs up in Calendly for a time, then we send an email in Gmail with a pre-written email with our case studies. And we do this every single time because we've created the automation, right? So in delivery, you can automate the collection of data and client reports, right? And you can send it automatically. So you don't have to do this. A team member doesn't have to do this. You don't have to pay them for that. And it's predictable. So there are endless possibilities. So right now, just think, what are you currently doing yourself more than once? What are you repeating? What task are you doing over and over? And then if you are doing it over and over, you can create an automation, right? It's very, very simple. So the benefits, tasks get done at the exact time every single time, even when you're tired or even when you don't want to work. You free up attention to focus on high leverage tasks. You save money by not having to hire additional team members, but you also save time by not having to manage additional team members. Because the management is one of the biggest costs of having other people. And your agency becomes more efficient because you're running it by machines. So insights. Using code-based leverage, which is automation, you can complete repetitive tasks automatically without requiring additional team members or your involvement. So in this video, we'll be covering the final part of the thesis, right? In terms of the actual steps needed to take to get to the goal of, at least 100K, and then booking consistent meetings, sales, and remove from the day-to-day. So decentralized system management. At this point, you found proof of concept in everything I mentioned. You've built infrastructure, created content for external and internal communication, and applied code-based leverage to automate repetitive tasks. Now we'll be focusing on the final step of applying leverage to grow the agency while being out of the day-to-day, decentralization. So concept, decentralization. A centralized system is one where every node links to the core. A decentralized system is one where nodes are distributed across other nodes, reducing the links towards the core. As you can see, this is a centralized system, this is a decentralized system. In our context, you can imagine the core as you, the founder, and every node as a team member, client, or vendor. As you can imagine, if you have 20 clients, they're all linking towards you. If you have 20 team members, they're all linking towards you, and that's a problem. So the lines connecting the nodes are information and requests. And the cause of scattered attention, working all day, being involved in everything is being centralized, everything linking towards you. The solution is distributing responsibility and information across other nodes. So what I've done is I've even created a resource for you. Again, that's what we provide for our clients to map your centralized and decentralized agency models. Because if we understand that by doing this, this is what's going to allow you to get out of the day-to-day, then we should do it. So over here, use this resource to define your centralized and decentralized agency model. Workflow. Using a visual tool or whiteboard, draw a center in the middle, representing you, and list every part of the business linked to you. So every team member, vendor, prospect, everything. For each link, list specifically what they're asking for. So I have an example over here of what this would look like. So when I say a visual tool or anything like that, you can use something like Figma, like Miro, all of that, or just a whiteboard, to be honest. So this is the centralized agency. As you can see, everything links towards you, the founder. And what I did was, I put the clients, I put a setting team, virtual assistants, marketing manager, setting prospects, sales prospects, and then I linked, or I added for every node, for every link, the actual things that they're asking for. So I separated by tasks and questions. So like for let's go with clients. The tasks that you'll have to do is like adjusting the campaign scripting, changing the targeting, all of that. Questions that they would ask you is like, how long is this going to take? Timelines, all of that. For setters, for your setting team, they'll ask you about like qualification, then you have to like train them, do the payouts, give feedback, all of that. And you can see everything links to you. So the first thing you're doing is you're mapping your centralized model. So do that now, promise you. This will save you a ton of time, very useful. Then I want you to recreate the model with the following steps in mind, right? Eliminate, firstly, right? So you're recreating the model, the decentralized model. So I want you to first think, is there anything here that you can remove, right? Is there anything that's just completely unnecessary? Think about taking that out first. Then automate. What can be communicated via content? What can be communicated using what can be automated using a Zapper software? This is what we spoke about in the last module. So for example, training for your client success manager with content, automating booking notifications with Zaps, and I'll show you an example. Then delegate. What are the most important things that need to be done by you? Then delegate everything else. And then recreate the decentralized version of your business with this understanding. So you can see over here, the way that I've changed it is there's still the same amount of things. Actually, there's more things. There's more clients. There's more everything, more setters, but there's less links to you. So for example, these are the clients. Instead of it all linking to me or to you, I created a onboarding, a training, an FAQ, and a resources doc. Now, this can be seen by the clients. That's great. But also, instead of me telling this to the clients or me even teaching this to the client success manager, I link them towards this. So by me focusing on this document, the client success has all the info that they need to help the clients, right? And if they're an operations manager, they can talk to like the accountant and stuff as well. But simply put, I'm communicating this via content. I'm using labor and labor-based delegation or labor-based leverage to communicate with the clients. So I don't even need to speak to clients. Then I get a setter manager to manage all the setters, and they follow a setter SOP hub. And then I have a sales rep following a sales SOP hub, and he's talking to all the sales prospects. So you can see there's more things happening here, but there's less links to the founder. And by using content-based leverage, like I was talking about in the previous one, using code-based leverage for implementation of things, and then using people as the final step, it allows me to decentralize myself in the process. So start now, pause the video, map out your decentralized models, and then let's continue. Okay, so 3.1, implement labor-based leverage. So we've already started the decentralization process by implementing content and code-based leverage. The final step is implementing labor-based leverage to complete the final task, to run the whole system. So the old way is to run an agency doing everything yourself, which obviously isn't good. Now you're essentially at this point a glorified freelancer. You're speaking to clients, you're involved in delivery, you're booking meetings, you're doing sales calls. At this point, you don't have a business, you have a high-paying job, right? That's it. And you just work in more hours. So the problem is that your attention is scattered, you have no free time, you're constantly overwhelmed, you feel like the entire agency is reliant on you, and if you stop working, the whole business will fail, right? You can't take a break, you can't relax, you can't do anything besides work. You're working all day and the business isn't even moving forward. So you're subconsciously capping the growth of your business because if you sign more clients, you know the whole system will break, right? And results go down the more clients you sign, your work increases the more clients you sign. It's not good. So the new way to grow an agency is using labor-based leverage to manage the systems. So I'm not saying they need to do all the implementation or communication. They're managing the overall systems. They're managing the content systems, the code-based systems. So concept, lean delegation. So you can create content to handle all communication with clients, workflows, and training for your team. You build this once and you never have to do it again. You've automated all basic repetitive tasks using software and AI. You create it once and it will work forever. So the last part is hiring people to manage the systems. So there's a quote by Naval Ravikant, I think he's worth like $1 billion or so at this point. And he actually said this 10 years ago, and he was predicting the future of companies. And he said that the actual efficient size of a company is shrinking very rapidly. So the future of the world will almost be all startups. So Most businesses will adopt a startup mentality. In that sense, there will be small companies, loosely coupled and connected to each other, all through APIs and processes for the needs. I think we will see more billion-dollar companies built by 4 or 5 people, and it will stay like that, right? Billion-dollar companies built by 4 or 5 people, because we have these other things, because we have the content and the AI and the tools. So the last part is hiring people to manage these systems. You don't need a big team because you've already applied leverage. You need a few fast, competent people. Your agency will be lean, efficient, and agile. It will have low expenses and high margins, making scaling easy. So the benefits: you free up time and attention. The agency doesn't require you or your time to function. You can take a break or you can stop working. The agency will continue to operate. You choose what to work on. Your client capacity isn't limited by your time, and you can comfortably scale without increasing your team capacity. Your work and your clients don't change when you sign more clients, or your work and your client results. So insights: labor-based leverage allows you to free up time and attention to focus on higher leverage tasks that move the agency forward, right? So simply put, by getting people to do and manage these systems, you're not linked to the business. You're not linked to the day-to-day. So the next question is, okay, who do I hire and how do I hire? 3.2, how to hire an operational assistant. So now that we understand the value of applying labor-based leverage to manage the systems, next is what the delegation process looks like. So how do you actually do it? So this involves hiring team members in like the old way is hiring team members in specialized roles. So like a marketing manager for writing campaigns, or an account manager, client success manager for client support. Now, in the past, each team member would only focus on that role and nothing else. And this required you to hire people with specialized skills, often full-time. So to hire someone like this, you need a lot of work for them to do, especially if they're coming on full-time. That's 8 hours per day. And for most small agencies, there isn't enough to warrant the cost, so they don't do it. So they keep doing it themselves until they have the need. But it doesn't come because you get capped by your time before you can get to that point. So you know that you need someone to do it, but it's like you don't have enough work for them to do, so you just do it yourself and you get capped. So the other old option is getting them and then spending huge amounts on them without them having enough work to do, which is another problem. So obviously this is a problem because this causes a lot of resistance to hiring. You expect to pay a considerable amount to hire someone to come on board. And the resistance may cause you to avoid hiring, keeping you stuck and prevent your agency from growing. And if you decide to hire, you end up hiring and building a team of overpaid specialists. So the specialists don't have much work to do because your agency is still tiny. So you end up paying large amounts of people who aren't doing much work, which is terrible. So because you're paying these huge amounts, you decide to remove them and go back to doing everything yourself, keeping you stuck. And it's an endless cycle, right? So the solution: the new way is to hire an operational assistant. This should be every single agency owner's first hire, and I really do mean this. You don't need specialized talent because you've spent the time in the previous parts of this creating infrastructure and workflows. You just need execution on what you've already figured out to do. So you can easily find an operational assistant, train them on the workflows, and then have them start executing. And plus, there's no limit to what they can do. There's no limit to what they can work on. So they can assist in client communication, onboarding, sales follow-ups, admin, lead sourcing, and anything else you're willing to train them on. So this can free up 80% of your time. Okay? So what I mean by this is that they're not in a specialized role, meaning their literal only job is to save you time. So the benefits is that you don't need to spend $5,000 per month on specialized talent. You can pay them anywhere from $500 to $1,500 per month. You can have one team member that takes 80% of your tasks. You can quickly train them using the infrastructure you've created, and you'll save time and attention, allowing you to focus on tasks that move the business forward. So insights: hiring an operational assistant allows you to free up 80% of your time without wasting money on specialized talent while being able to work on every aspect of the business. So you can free up more time with an operational assistant while paying them less and get more output. Like, it's the absolute arbitrage of capital to labor. So this is a hire for everyone. If you're making above 3K a month, like 100%, even before that, to be honest. Okay, so leveraged ascension. After removing yourself from 80% of the day-to-day tasks that require labor input, you'll follow the same process to remove yourself from the final responsibilities. So again, at this point, you should have already found or looked at finding an operational assistant, right? It can be someone you know, it can be someone from a job posting site, anything. If you're a client, we help with that, but again, you can do this on your own. It's very easy, right? So now you just have the final responsibilities. Most agency owners never reach the point where they've delegated 80% of the admin or day-to-day tasks, right? They don't even get to that point in the first place where they've given off the admin stuff. Even if they get close, right? Even if they get some VAs and all this stuff, they still remain in the core functions, usually around booking meetings, sales, and high-level client support, and then high-level delivery, right? They never truly reach the point where the agency can sign clients and run without the founder's involvement, right? People will be like, I have a business that runs without me, but they're still doing sales calls, they're still doing delivery, so it's not actually the case. They're never fully out. So why is this a problem? It still keeps your time linked to the agency making money. Like, no revenue will be made if you don't take sales calls. So your time is still linked to money. You still have a job. You don't have a business yet. Your work increases the more you scale. You never have complete freedom, and you can never fully trust the business to run and grow without you. Now, quick concept. Theory of constraints. The new way to grow and fully remove yourself is using leveraged ascension. This involves increasing the business's throughput by solving the agency's constraint at each growth point. Sounds complicated. Simply put, you can max out your capacity in one area and then hire someone to increase the capacity. So let's say this is the business as a system. So it starts with like marketing. So like, let's say like getting attention, getting bookings, sales, delivery, retention, all of that. So let's say you can take 4 sales calls per day. You implement the outbound systems and you start booking 6 calls per day. Like, you only have capacity for 4, now you're booking 6. This is beyond your capacity, which is constraining the business. So this is the point where you're at now. Your capacity is 4 calls, like your sales capacity. You can handle 4 calls, but you're actually getting 6 bookings. So you're constraining the business by your lack of capacity. So assuming you want to scale, the solution isn't to slow down bookings, like get less bookings, right? You'd hire a sales rep to increase the agency's capacity to 12 calls, and they would follow your process. So what you would do is, by getting the rep, you're essentially increasing your capacity to look like that so that you have more inflow. So the benefits. And before I get into that, you do this for every aspect of the business. It's like, if you have 8 clients, if you have capacity for 8 clients, and now you sign 2 more, your delivery is constraining the business. It's constraining your time. So because you've reached your capacity, you're able to get someone else in to increase the business's capacity. So you can get, let's say, an account manager or something to handle 15 clients. So now you've freed up your time, you can focus on the next thing, which is, let's say, more bookings and more sales. So the benefits: by quickly removing constraints, the agency's growth is never slowed. This allows you to free up time to get other team members in and remove yourself. Your time is freed, allowing you to focus on high leverage activities. Your team gets better results than you because they have all their attention dedicated to the role. So for example, a sales rep just focusing on sales, doing calls all day, is probably going to do better than you trying to do that between like 15 different things. You have more attention, you have more energy, you only need to work on tasks that you enjoy and move the agency forward. Right? Insights. Ascending based on the agency's constraints allow you to make the best hire at every single point in your growth phase while removing yourself from the process and improving results. Right? This, I promise you, like, by understanding this concept and doing this consistently, by removing the constraint every single time, you're just naturally going to get out. Like this, it's the only way. So, for example, if you solve the sales constraint, now you have capacity for 12 calls, you need to get more bookings, right? It's like, okay, keep getting bookings until you get to the point where it's like, okay, you're signing all these clients, but you can't handle the delivery. Okay, get more people in delivery. Now you have more sales capacity, grow that one. And you just keep going until you're removed, your team members are growing the constraints, and then you just keep going. Like, that's pretty much it. So, in summary, right, if you simply find acquisition and delivery proof of concept, something that works, okay, literally, like, that's what we're doing. We're just finding something that works, okay, on acquisition and delivery. Then we're applying permissionless leverage. So using content and automation to handle the communication and the execution of repetitive tasks. And we decentralize the system management. So we have people run the things that you figured out how to work, figured out to get working, and then remove with like content and automation. You can go from 0 to 100,000 per month without working all day and being stuck in the agency. Genuinely. Like, if you just do those things, you will get there. So just to recap what we spoke about in the last one, simply, if you find acquisition and delivery proof of concept, finding something that works, right? So you find a way to book meetings, find a way to close, sign clients, and you find a way to deliver. That's fantastic. From there, you have something that works. Then you just need to apply leverage. So using things like content and automation to take care of so much of doing those tasks without you being involved. And then for the final things that require a person to run, you decentralize the system management so that the systems can run without you. And if you can do that, if you can sign clients, deliver, and do that at scale, I mean, very simply, you can go from 0 to 100,000 per month without working all day and being stuck in the agency. You can honestly go a lot further beyond that, but I mean, if we can just get you to 100K pretty quick, that'll be nice. So in terms of the options that you have to do this, by all means, I've given you everything that you need now, but if you want to really accelerate things, there's a few ways you can do this. Now, step one is you can figure everything out yourself. You can go through the trial and error, test it, and while it does cost less money, you're saving money, you're paying in time. So the problem is that you're already working all day. So it's like, where will you find an extra 4 to 6 hours per day to learn the skills needed to do this? Right? So you'd have to spend an extra 2 to 3 years staying at the same revenue amount, making not much progress so that you can try learning and implementing this. But the problem is that you'll be missing out on around 3 years of growth. If you're very quick, around 1 to 2, but without the accountability and the feedback, it'll take a lot longer. So it's perfectly fine if you have the time and don't mind stagnating for a few years, if you want to figure everything here out yourself and just get into the 100K. Like, by all means, you can. Okay. Step two is you can change business model. So I've seen this a lot where people talk about like growth partner, build and release, growth operating, all this stuff. And there's constantly people trying to sell you on some new agency model, thinking that it's going to solve your current problems. The fact you're in the day-to-day, you don't have proof of concept, all this stuff. The problem is that these models don't address the fundamentals. And again, most of these people, they've ran one agency and they make a course. Like it doesn't make sense. So the first option is growth partnering. Now, this is the idea of having fewer clients, but charging more. Now, instead of having, let's say, 20 clients at 2K a month, 60K in revenue, you'd have 10 clients at 6K per month, 60K in revenue. Now, the theory for them is that they think you'll have less stress and complexity by having fewer but higher quality clients. And they also mention that you'll have a better experience by having more successful clients. But it sounds good in theory. But the problem is that regardless, you're still involved in the day-to-day. You're still managing the delivery. You're still doing sales. You're still doing client support. And it gets worse. Because they're paying you 3 times more, they're expecting 3 times more work from you. So they're paying you more than their full-time team members. And because of this, they're expecting a total time commitment from you. Like, imagine you have 10 clients wanting an 8-hour shift from you. So this model is fundamentally broken because even if you want to scale, you're still going to have to address the fundamentals, which is finding proof of concept, applying leverage, and then ascending throughout the roles. So it doesn't matter what model you pick. If you don't have the fundamentals, if you don't have leverage, you're not going to grow. Another model is like something called build and release. Now, this is the idea that instead of doing all the work for your client, you build the delivery mechanism into their business for a one-time fee and then charge them a recurring monthly fee for support. So essentially you're saying, like, you'll give them the system and you have to do less work, right? So instead of like 2K monthly, you would charge them 6K one time and then 500 monthly for support. So the selling point for this model is that it's less work for you, apparently, but you build it for them once and then it becomes their responsibility. That's what they're selling. And then you also have the recurring monthly for support, which sounds good. But the problem is that people are lazy. You build it for them once, but then they'll still message you daily asking for the help. So they'll ask you to do everything that you would typically do, but you'll get paid $500 instead of $2,000. So they'll have like a script that doesn't work. They'll say, hey, the script doesn't work, fix it. And then you fix it, but you're only getting paid $500 instead of $2,000. So regardless of whether you build it for them or not, it doesn't, again, address the fundamentals. So because you've got 20 other people also asking for support, if you have 20 clients, you won't be able to put as much effort in. So it's like, if you're handling support for 20 people, you're just not going to have the attention. Your clients will get worse results and blame you saying the system doesn't work. You may even get worse results than just doing it yourself because you're not going to put that much attention in. So again, it doesn't address the foundations. You're still linked to everything. You're still the primary point of contact. You may have some leverage in delivery, but you have no leverage on your time. So time is the most important thing because it lets you move the business forward. And when I say leverage in delivery, the sense that because you can build it for them once, that's great. But then again, your time is still linked. You still have a job. You're literally in client support. So please understand though, these other options can work, right? I'm not just shooting down these options, but they're more tailored towards agency owners who are comfortable only earning around 5 to 10K a month. Genuinely. Like, they're okay with essentially having a high paying job, these agency owners. They don't have massive goals. They're okay with being average. Because if you have, let's say, 2 growth partner clients and you're at, I don't know, 10K a month, like, that's cool. That's great. But as soon as you go beyond that, you've got 3 full-time jobs. So if you don't mind working all day for like 10K, that's fine. It's just a good job. Same with the other options. You just need to address the fundamentals. So the way that we do it, and if you want to come on with us, there's another option. And this option, I do want to mention, is only if you want to scale. This is not for people who are okay with like 5K. Like, if that's the case, you can use the stuff, but we can't work with you. So if you want to scale, because it addresses all the problems of the previous options. So instead of spending 3 years trying to figure everything out, we can just give you the system in under 3 days, and you can implement it very quickly. Because again, we've done this for over 90 agencies. Instead of wasting money and time testing campaigns and methods for signing clients and finding proof of concept, we'll just give you the winning campaigns that have added over 4 million across 90 agencies. Like, that's it. And instead of making you a high-paid employee, we'll just help you build an agency that runs without you needing to work. So regardless of what model you're in, even if you're doing these other models and you want these systems, it will help because we're addressing the leverage, we're addressing the fundamentals. Plus, you'll also have me and a group of other agency owners for daily accountability and feedback, right? The quickest way to shortcut the path of taking 3 to 5 years to figure this out is just getting feedback from people who have done it. So we can shorten down like 5 years into like 5 days. So again, this is only for agency owners who want to add 50 to 100K per month while systemizing the business, but don't want to waste 3 years and money on courses to figure it out, right? So what I'll do now is just walk you through what it could look like if you want to get started with us. Just some recent results. Like, as I mentioned, I've scaled over 90 agencies using the exact systems when running our acquisition agency. So this isn't made by someone who just like built one agency and then made a course. We've tested these systems across 70 different agencies. So some recent results using the systems, people like Zach, he went from 100,000 to 220,000 per month. The main thing he was struggling with was the fact that he didn't have enough consistent bookings coming in every single day, right? And once we worked with him, he was able to get in contact with billion-dollar companies, scale up, and then go from there. Aman, he joined. He already had clients. He had a system, but he didn't have the leverage. He didn't have the scaling systems needed to actually go up. So now he's scaling up to around 50K per month out of the day-to-day and running everything very efficiently. Lee, same situation, needed to apply the systems into his business. Jovan, he needed more clients, so he scaled up, or he helped him find proof of concept with the offer, with the product, with everything. So we got his pricing up from like commission-based to charging around 5K up front. And that allowed him to get to 10K a lot quicker. Joe, that guy's scaling rapidly. I think he's getting to around 50K at this point. And again, same things. He started out with clients, with experience, but he didn't have the leverage of the systems to actually get up from there, right? Many others, and most of them joined with the exact same situations, right? They had the same goals of booking more meetings, signing more clients, scaling up, getting to 100K and removing themselves from the day-to-day. Right? It's pretty simple, to be honest. And there's many more. So what I want to give you here is the exact scaling blueprint that we would provide and help you go through to get to this 100K a month. Because a lot of people, they make claims, but they have no plan of getting there. So using our systems, this is the logical roadmap that we'd follow. Okay? We're not just going to tell you to like raise your prices and work with higher clients. Like, we're not doing that. Like, step 1, because again, we've done this so many times. So we just follow the same thing over and over. Milestone 1 is finding proof of concept. So throughout every step, you'll have daily group accountability and feedback to make sure these targets are hit. So like I was saying, we have daily accountability to make sure that you're getting these things done. And it's me. It's not like some other random person. Okay? So step 1 is we're going to use free organic outbound strategies to book 1 to 3 calls per day. We're going to use sales systems to close at over 20%. And we provide all of these to you, by the way. So then once we have proof of concept here, we're going to document the acquisition infrastructure. So everything that we did here, we're going to document it. Then we're going to implement automated onboarding systems, okay, to get your clients onboarded as soon as possible in under a couple hours. Then we're going to implement testing workflows to validate the delivery mechanism. So we're going to find a delivery mechanism that works, that gets your client results efficiently without your involvement, and we're going to document this process. So at the end of this, the objective is that you're signing 1 client per week consistently, adding 8 to 16,000 per month consistently, and adding an additional 96 to 192,000 per month in 12 months, right? Looking at these numbers. This is just an extrapolation of this. So at this point, you'll have proof of concept on bookings, on sales, and on delivery, and everything documented. And again, daily accountability and feedback to make sure you hit this. Milestone 2, apply permissionless leverage. So we'll be building out your agency infrastructure. We'll give you everything that you need. We'll use content to automate your initial client communication. We'll use content to automate initial team training and communication. And we'll implement automation to complete repetitive tasks without your involvement. So the objective of this milestone is to get you to the point where you're out of all delivery and outbound execution. Meaning that every single delivery task like lead sourcing, setup, onboarding, communication, you're out of that. You may still be involved in the actual strategy, but you're not actually doing the day-to-day work. So you'll need to work at max 2 hours per day on delivery, if that even. And you're just focused on sales, content, and team management. Right? So outbound execution too, you don't have to be the one reaching out to the people. We get a setter in, takes care of all of that. Milestone 3, decentralized system management. And again, just to emphasize, you have accountability with me and feedback to make sure you hit these targets. Then, milestone 3, we're delegating 80% of your execution-based work to an operational assistant. We'll remove yourself from the day-to-day execution, so for every activity, and you're only focused on leveraged activities, product, content, team. Okay? So you're out of all delivery communication, delivery execution. If you want, you can oversee strategy. You're out of admin work, basic finance work, sales too, outbound work, and you're just focused on building a better product, so systems, content, so building a brand if you want, you don't even have to, or building a sales letter, and then your team, so managing the overall system. So the objective of this is that you're out of all agency execution. Okay, you're just focused on product, content, and team. And then by doing this, we can easily scale the acquisition systems to get to 4 to 8 calls per day, build up a sales team, and build up the delivery team. So by you being out, it gives us unlimited constraint to get you out. And at this point, you should be at around 50 to 100K per month. Okay, so this is what we'll do, following our systems, assuming you work with us. And again, it'll be pretty straightforward. So if you want to accelerate your progress, right, this is what can happen too. So I want to give you a quick walkthrough of what the actual program would look like, just from a high level view, just so you can see. So this is the community aspect. You can see that, at any point here, if you want to ask a question, you can just put this over here. And this is where I am in the group every single day giving feedback. As you can see, some people are making progress, asking questions about lead management. They share their wins, all of that. And you're in a community of other agency owners doing the exact same thing, right? Very clean, very organized, and I'm in here every single day, all day, right? But on top of that, we also have a classroom section where, we provide all of these sources to you. So things like delivery, foundations, outbound sales, and everything that you need to get there. So these will provide instant proof of concept to just, help you get there as rapidly as possible. As you can see, in all of the courses, there are modules, and then each of the modules has resources. So for example, this is the total systemization module. As you can see, there's a lot that we cover here, a lot of what I mentioned in this one, but just an insane amount of detail. We cover every single thing that you would need. When this loads up here, productization, decentralization, all of this. Also exact workflows on, for example, how to get an operations assistant. So the exact workflow for doing this, the job posting, literally everything. And it's all here documented so that you can follow this in your own time. You have access and you understand everything, right? Then you also have access to 2 coaching calls with me every single week. We're going to be adding more very soon, but these calls are available for unlimited support. We go into everything from helping you book more meetings, helping you close more deals. I review sales calls on these, improving your delivery, improving your SOPs, literally everything that you need. And we have insights from, again, adding over 4 million, 90 agencies, and every single thing that you would need to scale up. So you have unlimited support, everything that you need. So if you want more info on this and you want a personalized walkthrough and a demo on all this, just click this link over here and you can book a call with myself. And then we can just go through the scaling blueprint for you. Well, we'll just take a look into your situation. We'll help you get there. Perfect. And then a quick note. So if you're watching this now, book a call right away. We'll just help you scale up rapidly, to be honest. And again, there's no pressure to come on with us. We'll just walk you through the system, show you how it could work. If you just want to take the info and run with it, you can. Otherwise, I'll be completely honest, you can get started with us. But it's purely just to accelerate your progress, right? This is only for people who really value speed. They value their time. They value getting to their goals as soon as possible and without wasting, their life. So quick note over here, isn't some like fake scarcity thing. We genuinely can only handle another 25 to 30 calls. So if you're interested, get a slot as soon as possible. I'm taking the calls personally right now. And one thing I do want to mention as well is because I'm looking to collect the first 100 to 200 case studies as soon as possible, we have a special bonus for you. So everyone who joins will receive a free one-on-one consulting call with me to give the exact steps you need to scale up. So I currently charge 2.5K for consulting calls. And like I said, I want to collect the first 200 case studies as soon as possible. So on top of this, because we've done this so many times, I also want to collect the 200 case studies. We're also adding a guarantee on top of this. So assuming you use our systems, everyone who joins is guaranteed to add an extra $100,000 per year. And if not, we'll just refund the amount and send you an extra $1,000 plus give you access to the system for free, right? I know it sounds crazy. I know it sounds like some weird $100 million offer. But the point is that we've done this so many times for so many people that we know that it works so well that I'm genuinely just willing to do anything to just get you in as soon as possible. Because I want to collect the case studies. I know this works. It's extremely straightforward. So yeah, the only reason we have this crazy offer, to be completely upfront, is to collect the first 200 case studies. So in summary, to summarize everything, you'll be receiving the system to book 2 to 4 calls per day, the system to close 20 to 30% of sales calls, to find proof of concept, to find or to create agency infrastructure and document your business, to automate your client and team communication, to automate your day-to-day tasks using code, to systemize your agency's day-to-day tasks using team members, and the blueprint to get out of the day-to-day and systemize your entire agency, plus 24/7 one-on-one and group support and accountability, right? Plus, on top of this, free one-on-one consulting call with me. That alone will help you scale quickly. And then $100,000 per year guarantee. So for more info and a customized walkthrough on this, and if you're interested, just book a time using this link. It'll also be in the description. Genuinely, like, this will just change your agency. We've done this a million times. If you don't want to, it's perfectly fine. But for the people who do, yeah, it's all there. So common questions. How does this differ from growth partnering, build and release, growth operating, and any other program? So the program stands out because it's based on proven systems that have generated over 4.2 million for 90 agencies. Unlike other courses, we focus on delivering the systems that have already proven to work. It's based on real world experience, not theory. So what this means is that most people who create a course, they've done this for one person. They've done this for themselves. And then it's like, okay, I'm an expert. We've done this for 90 agencies. I wasn't planning on sharing any of this info, but because, again, this is what's required to help more people, it's like I have to. So no one has this information. No one has this theory. So that's why, right? I don't have enough time. So I hear this pretty often, but using the systems and finding proof of concept takes 1 to 2 hours daily. And honestly, we would provide the proof of concept because we've done this. So if anything, this is going to save you time. And then it can be automated or delegated to free up even more time. Okay, so the goal of this is to make more money while working less. Okay, how fast can I see results? So because we've already found proof of concept for 90 agencies, the speed to results can happen within a day. Genuinely, people have started same day they get results. So in the worst case, we could see a winning strategy, or we could find a winning strategy using the testing processes within 1 to 2 weeks. Like, absolute worst case, if it didn't work out, within 1 to 2 weeks, we have testing systems to get to proof of concept. So 1 to 2 weeks max, right? Compare that to 3 years in like trying to figure it out. Will this work for my niche? Yes. Because we've worked in so many industries, we can most likely provide a proven acquisition system from day one. So regardless, even if we haven't worked with that niche, which is crazy to think about, working with this many agencies, we've developed a system that anyone can find proof of concept quickly, right? So even if we don't give it within day one, we can find it within a week because we've done this many times. Are results guaranteed? Yes. What kind of support do I get throughout the program? Is it just a course? Do I speak to you? Very good questions. So you'll receive 24/7 support, both one-on-one, so via message, and in group settings. So we have calls as well. So we are here to guide you through every single step. If you need personalized one-on-one support, we have that as well. And it's not just a course, it's not just like a set of videos and we leave you for the rest of your life. It's everything that you need in terms of accountability, support, the calls, everything. And then finally, a quick one for the outreach. Are we spamming people in outreach? Is it just mass volume? So I personally don't ever believe in needing to spam people or send mass volume. If anyone ever recommends that, then question it. Every approach is personalized, simple, effective, and will never damage your brand or reputation. So if you go back to the offer section of this, it walks you through like an example of how we made offers. It's just based on proof, based on results. It's very straightforward. It's very simple. So these are all the common questions. In terms of next steps, definitely just book a time using the link over here. I promise you, we'll just walk you through exactly how we do it, answer any questions that you have, and give you the blueprint to scaling from there. Use everything that I mentioned before. And in terms of next steps, book a call. I'll talk to you very soon. And I hope you found all of this useful.